Why only two Abigail? It's kind of similar to Detective's Phoenix, right? Where Abigail is only good in situations where you have a Death Shadow or a big Moonshadow in play. Phoenix is only good in situations where you've cycled Street Wraith. Um, the first copy of Abigail is often good. Sometimes doesn't do anything. Same with Phoenix. First copy is often good. Sometimes doesn't do anything. You basically never want to draw two copies, or you almost never want to draw two copies unless you have like perfect Christmas land where you have two unremoved Death Shadows. You know, but it's you. This is just a card that is very bad in multiples, so you play two, so you almost never have multiples. I guess, yeah. I would say it's better. All right, this was a red black land. I'm probably keeping. All right, let's keep this. Probably put back the Abigail. I think black has best removal. I think the best one mana removal spell in the format is either Heat or Prismatic Ending. Maybe you could say it's Galvanic Discharge, but I don't think you could really make a good argument for Fatal Push. So I want to lead on the Channeler so I can try to surveil into land number 2, potentially. Would probably mulligan this if it was a 7-card hand. Maybe not. But definitely keeping on 6. I think black has the best removal. Fatal Push is big. I think I just would... Right now, I'd rather be playing Ending Heat over Fatal Push, and then Galvanic Discharge, of course, if I'm Boros Energy. Or like if I was Mardu Energy, right? Games like this are funny sometimes where like if my opponent just has turn 1 Kappa Cannoneer, which they do have, I don't mind so much that I've stumbled because I wasn't beating this. Alright, so Vexing Bauble, Meltdown, Meltdown, Edict, Edict. Meltdown plus Edict, a good combo to get rid of Kappa Cannoneer. Don't think you want to play the Pyroclasms, but you could. Abigail, Death Shadow, also probably a big upgrade to this matchup compared to previous versions. Bad keep on my part. You wanted to go to 5. Genuinely asking, of course. I think I'm gonna cut my Heats. They're very hard to kill. You can't kill Pinnacle Emissary turn 1, right? Heat is amazing. 2-mana removal like Edict gets ignored. It's kind of a black thing, almost exclusively. I think Edict is good. Like Edict really carried us a lot in the Dimir Wand deck, but I mean, Fatal Push is good. I just think overall red and white have better removal than black at the moment. There are reasons to play them. I guess I keep this, and I think it's important, and I lead on the Moonshadow so I can grow it with the Channeler, and getting a Surveil on the Channeler is also really important here. Does Abigail cause Thing in the Ice to flip? No. Buffalog with the 5 months. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back. Yeah, I hope to see the Boros matchup too. It's gonna be. I agree, it'll be swingy. Now, yeah, if they have the Pinnacle Emissary start, we should have Thoughtseize turn 1. Just a lot of times the turn 2 Thoughtseize is good enough. If they just have 2 turn 1 Kappa Cannoneer hands, good for them. I guess we could have drawn Sheoldred's Edict, but whatever. You could win the match if you turn 1 Kappa Cannoneer every twice. I can keep this on the draw. Yeah, we've talked a little bit about Swampy Visions with Protean Hulk. I do think it's cool. They had no creatures and no 2-mana auras. Yeah, I don't know why. I can't remember why there was no aura enchanted on turn 1, but there wasn't. Is Forest Go Titan? Is it Brood-Scale? I don't know. I've seen a couple of Legacy lists playing Lockmare as a different approach to Mercside slot. What do you think of it in Modern? It's a card I really want to test. I really want to test Lockmare. Maybe we could test it when we play like we've played Frog, Dimir, Moonshadow, but we can play a version of that that's more of a counterspell deck, more of like a Legacy style counterspell deck. Maybe Lockmare could go there. I've also been working on a blue-white Aether Vial deck that I've actually been working on since Avatar. That's trying to Violin 1, Violin White Orchid Phantom, Violin Aang, kind of like spiritless spirits. And Lockmare seems like a good fit for that too. So it's one I definitely want to test. Cool to see it's been doing well in Legacy. 2 of those are spirits. Okay, I guess not spiritless spirits, but no, like when we were playing Vile Spirits post Avatar, and I really liked Viling and Juan and Viling and White Orchid Phantom, and I'm like, I kind of wish I was just playing Aang instead. Oh, so this is Devoted Druid. I'm like, I kind of just wished I was playing Aang instead of the O1 bracket, huh? So I can't quite play my Death Shadow. I think there's something to Abigail Vile. I guess what's is your vision Death Shadow Abigail Vile? Because that seems tough to me. Sig seems like not worth the splash. It seems so painful on your mana base for a card that's like fine, but ultimately like you have a lot of other good, like you could just play Psychic Frog instead of Sig and have much better mana. But cool build for sure. Cool build. I think I'm probably still not a fairies believer, but you know the ooze with haste is going to be kind of a problem. So I guess we want to Thoughtseize and set up to Abigail the Shadow next turn. So if they don't block either of these, then they do go to 14. They also can gain a life next turn off the Kona. Can we beat Ooze? Well, I'm about to be attacking with a big ol' Shadow next turn. Super excited for the new goblins. I'll test some of my strange ideas soon. I don't follow Legacy. Do you know if there's nice goblin days? Yeah, we've played a couple different goblin shells. I've got a build that's more value oriented and a build that's more Grim Gully combo-y. And then I've been hesitant to play Snoop combo because of how many cards it costs in the deck. But there was somebody trophied with that, and so you can take a look. But as always, you can go to moxfield.com/user/aspiring spike, and anything that you're interested in, you can just type the card name in my decks and you can see if I've been working on it. Love Moxfield here. Yeah, it's not loading TZ, but this sounds cool. Oh, is it opening? Okay, interesting to call this Mardu Zoo. Just because of Doorkeeper Thrall makes it Zoo. I know I'd probably be playing Faithless Looting over Doorkeeper Thrall, but I'd probably be losing doing that. So if I Unholy Heat the elf, they can still make my Goyf 0 power. We're also maybe want to play Detectives Phoenixes over Croxas still. I didn't see any Badger Covers of Breakout. Have I tried that? I have not tried it. We've talked a little bit about it. It's very difficult to get the right number of hits, but I don't know. Maybe Breakout could somehow be better than Tyvar. Tyvar's been pretty good. Let me actually just take another look at the Cub deck. We have talked about it, but maybe I've forgotten something. Well, we'll heat this so they can't Kona, I guess. I really like the Badger Mill decks that we've played. I just think that they've been good and they've got so much potential. All that. Have to scroll kind of far down. So we have 4, 8, 11, 15, 17 good hits. Well, did I count the Nantuko? Nantuko's not really that good though, but it can put in the hand, which is okay. I'm going to count it as a good hit. So 10, 13, 21 good hits and 27 hits overall. It's kind of in range, isn't it? Yeah, possible breakouts better than Tyvar. Tyvar's been really good though. Cyber also gives you access to some infinite combos that you lose without it. So you got to play a little bit faster than this, I would think, opponent. I don't know what's happening here, why we're playing so slow, but I think we'll probably win this match. I also don't know whether they're main decking 4 Summoners Traps. I guess they're playing and just hardcasting it. Is there any argument for running Lightning Bolt over Heat? Well, the argument would be that if your opponent's at 3 or less life, Lightning Bolt can kill them. I can also bolt yourself to grow Death Shadow. The counter argument is that Unholy Heat kills Flage, it kills Quantum Riddler, it kills Primeval Titan, it can kill Karn the Great Creator. I guess Lightning Bolt can kill it a lot of times too. Can kill Big Moonshadow, can kill Big Psychic Frog sometimes, can kill Upborn Oculus, can kill a Guide of Souls that's been jumped. But I think Heat is better. Also, like Tarfire and okay, I'm just gonna. That's fine. I'm so bored. I'm just gonna move on here, and just be able to F6. It took my opponent. Let's see. How long ago did I attack? I attacked with this Death Shadow 3 minutes ago. Yeah, Tarfire is probably better because of Goyf and Fear missing out and Unholy Heat and Channeler. Yeah, we did kill an Ugin with it earlier though. Heat is the best one. Heat is just so good. All right, they spend 3 mana. They play a card with Reach. They're dead on board though, right? Block. Yeah, go to die. I guess I could have played the Goy first, but let's keep it going here. Okay, so we go to game 2 after a very long game 1. I guess I'll be playing Sheoldred's Edicts over Cling to Dusts and clicking Submit. Probably want the Pyroclasms if they're playing Elves. Might cut a Shadow and an Abigail just because you can't cast Shadow early. Although Shadow Abigail was really good against them. It seems like we'll be fine. Yeah, this definitely could be someone who just like built their first modern deck too. Do you think playing 1 copy of Deadweight as a 4 Fatal Push is worth it in a Moonshadow Whip deck? Seal of Fire would probably be better. Because you can play it preemptively, you have control over when you sacrifice it, it can target planeswalkers and players too, and you still get that that Moonshadow Goyf value. We have played Seal of Fire. This build is like just a lot more aggressive. It doesn't need to play as many removal spells too. But I do mostly think Tarfire is better because it's just so good to have with the Nethergoyf. And Moonshadow and Death Shadow are already really good. Like you're already enabling them. They don't really need the extra enablers. What's funny about the thought of bringing in Vexing Bauble for summoning Trap obviously doesn't work, but it would turn on a future. Like they could go play 1 summoner. I guess they couldn't play for 0. They could go Summoner's Pact, get countered, then they could kill the Vexing Bauble, then they could play Summoner's Trap for 0 mana. Okay, let's keep our 5, 6. The one number I didn't say. And then we're probably gonna try to put the Abigail on the Moonshadow, and so the double surveilling can be pretty good here. Second Thoughtseize will probably be pretty good. Also, we'll play the Moonshadow turn 1, especially if they're holding a Veil of Summer. This will be a bit better. Yeah, we have a lot of enchantments already. That was kind of the problem with Tarfire, was that we have I think we had 7 in our first draft, but we still have 6 enchantments, so the enchantment type doesn't help that much. Seal of Fire is always kind of nice though, where you just get to cast it, and then you have a 0 mana shock somewhere down the line. I guess if anybody's got any decks they want me to take a look at, we probably will have some time this match. That's true. When you preemptively play the seal, it gets easier to play around. Although sometimes they just don't play their cards because you have seal. It's kind of a weird dynamic. Yeah, I remember you linking this. I think I'm pretty sure I've already seen it. I like it. I remember thinking that this is one I would have kind of liked to get around to. I'm kind of just thinking still that Linebreaker to me looks worse than Corey Steelcutter or maybe more fear of missing out. So I'm just not convinced that this line breaker is good here, but maybe your testing has shown different. 3 flash fires is probably one too many, but I won't hate on the decision. Can't play Pinnacle Monk? I guess you can't. Oh, you probably need to play one more mountain. I think only 3 fetchables with the Vista. I would feel a little nervous to only have 3 fetchables, but I know that you want to play these Sundering Eruption. I mean, that's the problem with splashing the K command, right? Linebreaker's been good for you. Okay, that's good. You know, if it's been good for you and I haven't been playing the deck, then don't let me dissuade you. Linebreaker K command's a lot of damage. Well, like, what if you just don't have K command as my thing? I don't. Maybe a 2 mana 4/3 haste trample is good, with the possibility of the big upside. Yeah, but I'm nervous about your basic count with the Vistas. You might be able to cut the Urza Sagas to make room for this stuff too. It's fine. But also, also Corey Steelcutter. It's also pretty good with the Saga plan, right? You get to like haste a construct sometimes, extra artifact count. All right, my opponent is back. I cast the Moonshadow 3 minutes ago. They play a Lightning Greaves. Maybe I probably could have kept it. Just taken maybe both ooze actually, since we have the Pyroclasm here. But I think taking 1 ooze makes the other better. We'll just leave him with it and get in for 2. Sam with the 68 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Master of Cruelty's Meek Attack. Crazy stuff. All right, so I guess we're going to just gain a bunch of life with the Abigail here. And then they've got the Blast Zone. The Greaves have been pretty good. Oh. Well, I guess we'll keep that on top. We're gonna take another hit here, so I think this should still be fine. Like, we're gonna go attack for 5, put them down to 14, and then if they have a land, they're gonna crack the Blast Zone. I guess one thing is that they just don't draw a land, then keeping the Shadow's pretty bad, but I think having the Shadow for after they crack the Blast Zone is good. Good enough, maybe. Yeah, I think these Fear of the Hordes, I get why you're playing them. They seem awful, if I had to use a word. But kind of a fun idea. And then this is looking like a Pioneer deck to me. Every card besides Utopia Sprawl looks to be legal in Pioneer instead. Could play something like that there, but it's probably just kind of slow and underpowered, I would imagine. All right, they play Llanowar Elves. They give Llanowar Elves haste. They exile Street Wraith. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, so I did forget Sithis. Still, I would say you probably can't really bark up that tree too much. Then they play another Ooze, so my Pyroclasm's looking pretty good. I'm going to lose the Abigail. So I block like this, I go to 7, I attack, I go to 12. I could still play a Death Shadow, although I think I'm going to go Heat Pyroclasm if they leave the board like this. Which they do, thankfully. Well, maybe this was bad. Maybe I did want my life total higher or lower. I don't know. I think we're fine. They've got 2 turns to find a land for Blast Zone. They miss on their first turn. Now, It is kind of awkward with the Death Shadow if they find it this next turn. What you gonna do, I guess. Hopefully they just don't draw it and we can... Yes, a tap land! Oh, goodness. Presumably they've got some big dumb creatures that will break some of their draw steps too. Alright, moving on. I think that there were about 8 turns that match. I think it took about 30 minutes. Kind of hard to mulligan this, so good thing we don't have to, I guess. Might be surveilling, so it might be attacking for more with Goyf next turn. Cosmo Corgi with the 20 months. Thank you, welcome back. Exhaust setting a counter. Yeah, it's the same. I think it's cool. I think should put a loses all abilities counter. Yeah, maybe. I don't know what you'd have to like keyword that, I guess. Isn't Deadpool similar to counters? I don't know what the hell that is. I'm sure it's a new card that I haven't read. So Wooded Foothills Blood Crypt. So probably hollow one here. So they have Street Wraith in their hand and they're thinking on it, do I want to cycle it now or not? So if they have the Street Wraith, I need to surveil another type in the yard if they block. Maybe that'll happen. Yeah, maybe this was a little silly. It's a little silly. I kind of like want them to hit me with the shark anyways. We could have clinged to try to get some damage in, which might have been fine, but also I might get to cling to dust like a Detective's Phoenix or a Vengevine, and that could also be more important. What's frustrating about Alchemy is that they really could print... I think we might as well cling now. They really could print most of the cards in paper. They just don't utilize the space. Well, that's fair. You think that like they just aren't using the space well. This theoretical space of cards that you couldn't usually play. I do agree that it does seem like the team is completely different. Okay. Well, player reward packs. Cam and Frank. This is the Hobgoblin. So we're getting hit for 5, down to 13. Kind of an annoying life total to be at once we've lost our fetch land, because that means no Death Shadow. Oh, not Frank, Farik. Excuse me. And they don't find a second land. So I'll graveyard this for the Moonshadow mostly. So they're at 8. I'm at 13. They have a 5/5 Marauding Mako. They do find their second land. It's a Spirebluff Canal. So they are splashing blue for Psychic Frog and or Winter Night Stories and or Counter Magic in the sideboard. Don't think there's another blue card they could be playing. They have a 3/4 Nethergoyf. And then they have another Burning Inquiry. Which will grow my... Okay, sorry, my hand didn't change at all. But my Moonshadow grew by 1, and 2 Fear of Missing Outs into the graveyard, growing my Nethergoyf. They feel that they can attack. Are they not just for sure dead on board? They block here, and then they take 8. I guess they had to attack, because the menace on the Moonshadow means they just have to attack here. Okay, so there's a Psychic Frog. There's also a Profs. Profs in Hollow One's pretty cool. Okay, a Hollow One means they're not dead on board. No, sorry, they are dead on board, but they didn't have to be. Right? Because like they can't block the Moonshadow and the Goyf now. But if they had not attacked with the Mako, they were not dead on board. That being said, I do just have Detective's Phoenix Shadow now, and that seems like that's probably going to be pretty good. Never interrupt your opponent while they're making a mistake. Could cast that on their turn. I mean, probably worth keeping if they weren't super dead. Okay, so we are up again against Hollow One. Vexing Bauble is pretty good against the card Hollow One. It's good if they're playing Blazing Root Walla, but no one seems to play my sweet Root Wallas anymore. I think I'll play the Graveyard Trespasser. It seems okay. The Nihil Spellbomb is probably fine. Anything bad? I think Thoughtseize can be pretty bad against them. Can be very good. It's also our only sorcery. Let's not play the Vexing Bauble. Yeah, let's run this. Thoughtseize on the play only. Maybe. Break the Ice seems good versus them. I think it has no targets. So I don't know. This can kill lands that make snow or produce a colorless. So I seem to have a little confusion on what that card does. Not quite Sinkhole. Let's see a little bit of main deck play. Okay, on the draw against Hollow One, probably keeping this. Thought it was not basic. That's yeah. It's not quite that. That'd be funny though. You see it like a lot of that in the main deck. Right, so thankfully I still have lands in my hand. So maybe they don't have Hollow One, they do have Surgical if they're pausing here. Okay, well there goes that theory. Okay, they decided to cast their Hollow Ones. Since Delirium is so easy to hit, is there a good deck that makes use of Traverse the Uvenwald? Yes, it's shifting Woodland decks. Being able to tutor up Woodland and then also a payoff when you have Woodland in play is awesome. Like it's one thing I really like about the new build of Woodland we have with Meek Attack is if you have Omniscience in play, you can traverse for Recruiter, Imperial Recruiter, and that wins you the game by itself. Now, as far as the way you're thinking about it, Traverse the Uvenwald, how you used to play it in Modern, where like Death Shadow used to be such a good card that spending 2 mana for it with Traverse was good. Like it used to be like a 2 mana Death Shadow was good enough to play, so you had Traverse, so you could do that. Nowadays, you have Moonshadow, Death Shadow, Dragon Rage's Channeler, Fear of Missing Out, Cecil, Ragavan, Psychic Frog. It's like you just have so many good threats that you don't want to spend an extra mana on any of them. You just want to draw a different one. All right, I think I'm just going to double heat. And I get 2 looks at Delirium because I can respond to the first one with the second if I miss. Yeah, exclamation point Dino, him who has risen. My favorite streamer. Could you run Traverse and Primal Prayers? You could. Although you're not very good at getting Delirium in that deck, so I don't really know why you would. It'd be a pretty different build, I guess. I think for the 35-month him. So they play a Frog, which can let their Shark become a 3/3, but I'll still block the Shark with the Channeler, probably. I guess maybe I would block one of the Hollow Ones if I just had Delirium on the second instead of the first. Seems like they're thinking about doing something now. So I'm holding priority. My finger is on the control. Now, the one Hollow One will die for sure, because the Heat will be in the yard. And then, I guess if we miss on both Surveils, one Hollow One will be dead. We just block the one that we heated with Delirium, and then we take 3, and then we try to draw Death Shadow. We already have an enchantment creature in the yard, so that doesn't help. I'm holding control, so I should get priority back here. Okay, so now we're going to target this one. We do get the Delirium. Awesome. So now we get to kill this, block here. And if they want the Shark to trade for the Channeler, they're going to have to discard their entire hand. Exhibit A of why we don't want to side in Sinkhole. I mean, one, that's not what that card is, but yeah, I agree. It also wouldn't be that good even if that was Sinkhole. Kosk with the 40 months. Welcome back. 40 months since the stream brought me back to Magic. Let's go. It's definitely been a fun experience streaming over here. So they graveyarded a Detective's Phoenix. Presumably they'll discard their last card too, which is a Steam Vent. So these trade, and then they've got a 3/4 Frog that can be Phoenixed upon. I might Abigail the Frog. Hopefully just draw Death. Oh, yes! Sorry. I was this close to having a great clip. I was this close to having a 100,000 view YouTube short. Hopefully we just draw Death Shadow. I can't believe it, chat! I can't believe it. What would you do if I was opponent? I would trade with these two cards in hand. Yes, I would trade. You're basically trading a Steam Bins for a Channeler. I would do that. And the next turn, I can go Haste FOMO with Delirium and get 2 attacks with the Shadow, with the Phoenix there. All Death Shadow needed to be good was be a 1 mana first strike flying lifelinker. That's also a 13/13. This is like those conversations people have, like, what's the biggest possible vanilla creature that people could print to be playable in Modern? And then one Redditor will go, you know, I think a 1 mana 4/4 would be barely playable. And then someone else will go, no. A 1 mana 4/4 wouldn't be good. It would have to be a 1 mana 5/5. And then someone else will go, no. Really, the biggest a 1 mana creature, or the smallest a 1 mana vanilla creature could be to be playable would be a 6/6. The biggest I've seen this conversation go is 8/8. I've seen someone with complete lack of irony say the smallest a vanilla 1 mana creature could be to be playable in Modern is an 8/8. But I think 1 mana, honestly, 1 mana 3/3, literal no drawbacks, I think would see a little tiny bit of play. And then 1 mana 4/4 would be very good. I think 1 mana 4/4 would be very good. 1 mana 3/3 would be very fringe playable. Yeah, 1 mana 3. More, yeah, S3, yeah, 3/4. 3/4 would be good too, I think. All right, so no attacks. So I get rid of. Yeah, I can just get rid of Wraith and Heat and still have Delirium. Yeah, like people were playing Wild Nikado in Modern for like I think even when this comment was made, like people were playing Wild Nikado in Domain Zoo, and Wild Nikado is worse than a 1 mana 3/3. Yeah, Wild Nikado is not a 1 mana 3/3. It's a 1 mana 2/2 on turn 1 that becomes a 1 mana 3/3 most of the time. And like being a 1 mana turn 2 on turn 1 is like really bad against Ragavan. You know, it's like it doesn't block the Ragavan, it trades for it. So like a 1 mana 3/3 would be significantly better. Probably like 5/5 is just a Modern staple that, like, if you're playing that color you're playing, and then like 7/7 is every deck is splashing for it probably. They couldn't introduce a 1 mana 4/4 to Modern without another Horizon set. Yeah, I think it wouldn't be good design probably. I don't know. We can move on to. So this is a new match. We're on the draw. I think we are going to keep this. We'll probably just put back the 2 mana card. Way too high in the curve here. Okay, back-to-back Hollow 1 opponents. We did beat them last time. We don't draw the land. I think I'm just going to main phase Heat, actually. Shark is really scary. Someone said that Mark Rosewater announced that they're not currently planning to do Modern Horizons 4. And I think that that's for the best. Again, like, I think the only time a Modern Horizons set will really fix things is if the format is like in a state of ruin and disrepair. And so if things get awful, much worse than they are now, then maybe we could clamor for Modern Horizons 4. But let's. I think at the moment, the way things are being introduced, much better. Pretty tempting to clean to dust the looting. I think I'm going to play a Channeler instead so I can get this Moonshadow large and in charge. Spike changed his mind. He hates Modern Horizons set now. I mean, I've had this take for a long time now, but I think Image 2 was really good because Modern was in a state of ruin and disrepair when it came to the format. I also think the design overall was better in Image 2 than Image 1 and 3, but I also think it worked so well for me, at least, because War of the Spark to Kaldheim was the worst era in Magic's history, probably. And then Image 2 was a hard reset button on that. But then Image 3 came in at like where Modern was pretty good, and I think messed a lot of stuff up. And I just kind of don't see another Modern Horizon set being good unless Modern is in another state of ruin and disrepair. Is Cling better than Surgical Extraction for a specific reason? Yeah, Cling to Dust is like an excellent main deck card, where, you know, if we're being able to main deck this against any opponent, where at the very bare minimum it's gonna be 1 mana draw a card that in the late game will continue to be a good source of card advantage in the late game. Cling to Dust is always good. And then it also gains life against Boros. So if they put Flage in the yard, you Cling to Dust it, you get to gain life. That ends up being a pretty good tool a lot of the time as well. Okay, I have Delirium on the Channeler now. Let me get upkeep stop. It's just like much more main deckable than Surgical is. So unfortunately, this 8/8 attacks pretty well this turn. They've got no cards in their hand. Do I need to chump block? If I chump block, I can. Yeah, I think I do chump block. Because if I chump block, then I can heat the Goyf, and then I can take 10 from the Phoenix next turn, or if they flashback looting. Although, okay, instead of that, I could also go Cling to Dust the Phoenix. I could Cling to Dust the Phoenix, and then get in. Maybe I think I still do this. I'll still Cling to Dust the Phoenix and heat the Goyf. Well, I'm pivoting. Yeah, I think I need to. Was the Elves deck stream? We streamed the version that wasn't playing 4 copies of Elvish the new champion, the 4-mana champion. But I've been playing the other version off stream, and I've been liking it enough that we'll play the new version on stream. So now if I draw a land, I can win with Fear of Missing Out into Phoenix. Haven't played any more Goblins since YouTube vid. We did a second Goblins League with Grim Gully combo, which I thought was fine. Someone else trophied with Snoop combo instead, which may be the better direction, but certainly shows off the new cards a little less good, which is always, you know, something I'm trying to avoid when I'm testing stuff for the new first time. For the new time. Cling is probably the only good balance escape card. Yeah. So they decide to escape Nethergoyf. Now they're still dead if they they're still dead if we draw a red source for the Phoenix here. We've got 2 looks. Could also go Channeler Thoughtseize. Go Channeler Thoughtseize. Down to 5 life. Yeah, that's a little too low, I think. Good to think about your lines. Something I always do all the time. All right, we drew the land, so we just win now, right? Do I attack? So I guess I have to, because if I chump block with the FOMO, I won't have lethal. Or would I have lethal if I just haste the Channeler? Sometimes. Wasn't Channeler Phoenix lethal? Yeah, sorry. Missed it. So they're probably gonna flashback the looting. We'll see. Yeah, I missed it. So flashback looting. They need to find extra mana value and Phoenix. They discard Goyf, so it looks like they don't have enough to bestow a Phoenix. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they're 1 short. They play a second Goyf, and then they're dead. Just dead on board, or maybe in grave is better than saying on board here. So it looks like we're winning game 1 against Hollow One again. It's a small sample size, obviously, but like if we just continue to beat Hollow One, game 1 especially, like if our deck is more powerful, like just on face value, like if we just win the race and we're not playing all these crazy synergies, it's like that's such a good sign, because we're also just more interactive and more resilient. Maybe not more resilient. Hollow One's pretty resilient. Yeah, so I just brought these in for 2 Thoughtseize. Let's do it again. Yeah, we do need to see Boros again. And we need to see the Boros matchup. Although it hasn't felt that bad with the other Rakdos build. And I can't imagine that Abigail Death Shadow makes it much worse. Probably makes it better. Nice to win the game anyways after missing lethal. And before Just Guy Blink. Did we play against them already? I think we won that match last league or this league. I can't remember. Or was that our loss this league? Edict over Thoughtseize. I think Edict is bad against them, but maybe I'm wrong. I think you just flood the board so quickly. I got number line. Was that our loss this league? Yeah, Vexing Bauble is interesting. I would play them if they had Blazing Root Wallas. So they've got their own Goyf. Combo. Come on, hit me. Ugh. Stay with me. Death Shadow and Abigail. The problem is my Goyf is bigger than theirs. So I can't quite get attacked here. I guess we can attack and open up the this is actually really interesting. Do we not play our Nethergoyf this turn so that we can play Abigail Death Shadow next turn? It's probably just gonna be better to play the Goyf, I think. Like they could just if they Burning Inquiry me again and I didn't play the Goyf, I'll look pretty silly. We also could draw another fetch land and be okay. That's true. Abigail is pretty good against Nethergoyf, and Nethergoyf is certainly seeing a lot more play now. All right, we get pretty punished. So we grow their Moonshadow to 2. Oh, we were about to grow the Moonshadow to 2/2 when we Graveyard Trespass. I forgot that the Goyf is going to be grown here. But we'll target the... I guess it has to be the Wraith. I guess it could be Bolt. If we wanted to keep our life total lower, we're gonna get hit by the Moonshadow pretty good this turn, probably. Weird game. So, I lost my Abigail. Yeah, we've done it enough today. It's been pretty good. How much evidence do we have to collect? So we can get rid of Fear of Missing Out, Abigail, Spellbomb, Channeler have Delirium still, if we wanted to keep Delirium. Okay, before Wonder last league, let's get another 4-1 prediction, but you know this deck has been looking great so far today. Weren't both my losses super cheesy? The Tron one was definitely like I got top deck Ugin into I mulled to 4, but I can't remember what the other loss was. I guess I'm gonna put back the Shadow because I want to be able to discard the Phoenix to the Fear of Missing Out. I want to have a 1-mana spell. I guess I could put back the Bauble instead. Oh yeah, that's right. That's what this was. I forgot it because it was Affinity and they went turn 1 Kappa Cannoneer both games. That's why I forgot. All right, well, a little bit awkward that I can't heat the Tomio. Yeah, I was also I didn't. Yeah, it was also the we could kind of beat the first Dukin. That's true. So I guess I'm just gonna go cast 2 Moonshadows this turn. Kind of bad if they have Bowmaster. I mean, they could just have a second push, but typically you want to respond to the first Moonshadow with the push, so we don't get a counter here. They draw one card off the Tamio. Maybe they have Cling to Dust to flip the Tamio. They tap the Water Grave, so that's about all they could have. And they pass the turn. So I'm going to assume they don't have Fatal Push since they didn't respond, and I think they would have learned their lesson probably. You never know, though. I do think this is better than heating the Tamio, just getting the extra pressure on play while my opponent doesn't have push probably, and they are stumbling a little bit. They attack with Miss Tamio again. Yeah, I might do a third league of this. I am really excited for the backup deck, but I'm also having a good time, and I'm okay. Maybe playing a third league of this today. We'll see. They crack another clue, and then they just flip the Tamio. So all good news. I might just cast Death Shadow to grow the Moonshadows here. If that's, I will for sure if that's lethal. Why don't we Theater first? So graveyard this to grow the Moonshadows. Now, this is 8 plus 3, 11, plus 1 is 12. They're at 12, so the double count 8, 11, 12. Is there anything we could play around? Or should play around? Guess no Solitudes, probably no main deck Surgicals. That's true. Abigail can be good removal against Tamio. That's true. Oh, right. They did go to 1. I needed to play the Death Shadow, but they also missed it. Lucky me. I don't think I want the Spellbomb necessarily. I do think I want the Edict. Or through the Trespasser. I think Abigail is going to be bad against the Fatal Push deck, so let's cut them. And then maybe down 1 Thoughtseize. I'm going to go tweak the thermostat real quick. Okay, on the draw. So we get Vexing Baubled, so a little bit annoying against my Mishra's Bauble. Surprisingly, they have that in the deck against potentially just Mishra's Bauble. I might be giving them the 2-for-1 so I can grow my Goyf and get Delirium. We'll see. They Thoughtseize themselves to unearth a Born Oculus. Interesting. So I guess we are in on Delirium here. We'll bring in the Nihil Spellbomb for game 3 if this isn't enough. So no Delirium here. So we need to commit to taking a hit and trying to get Delirium next turn, letting them surveil again. Their other cards were an Emperor of Bones and an Oculus. Or I guess they thought the Oculus, so they still have an Emperor of Bones in their hand. They flip up an Emperor of Bones. So maybe they'll feel like they can attack with the Emperor since they are... I feel like they shouldn't they have cast an Emperor instead of flipping here? Vexing Bauble so random. Yeah. I mean, I'm happy they boarded it in against me, I guess. I wonder if they think I'm like a hollow one deck or something. So we're back to 2 types. Yeah, I think it's fine to try to go Thoughtseize and Unholy Heat, Shadow this turn, and then this gives me an extra Surveil towards Delirium, although graveyarding it would help Delirium too, of course. So probably okay to get basic Swamp. Cast the Thoughtseize. That's Delirium, so we must take it. They have a Tamio, and they've got another copy of Emperor of Bones. I think I'm taking the Emperor. We go to 1 off the Emperor Oculus. Although, I guess I don't see much reason to like make them do that this turn cycle. So we could, yeah, maybe, yeah, I guess we just get in this turn and then heat the Oculus on their turn. So they take 7 down to 8. Should we have done the second main phase so we could jump with DRC? Well, do you not feel like the attack ended up being good? Because I feel like the attack ended up being good. Are we dead to land? Are we? Does this kill me? Because they, I mean, this Moonshadow is only a 1/1, so I block here. Yeah, I would go to 1, right? Main phase, Cling, Oculus, and they are chumping. I'm currently feeling like this line ended up working out really good. I'm not sure if that's what y'all are saying, but like, I think we just have won the game. Take 6 to new. Oh, the new Emperor adapt. Yeah, that's what I was missing. Okay, so they're gonna chump block the Tamio. Let's see if we can find a removal spell for it. I think it's better to target the Oculus, right? Because this turns on the Street Wraith, so it's kind of like it's kind of like we draw a card with it. Although, yeah, if we cycle the Wraith, then I guess if I cycle the Wraith, I lose if this is a frog or if this is Emperor, and then they draw a land. Yeah, I guess playing around that's gonna be fine. Yeah, I think this just plays around anything because like if this is Oculus, we lose, but it's kind of clearly not Oculus anyways, right? But I think like I like targeting first because then I can grab something else if I want. If I see a Heat, I can just draw it off the Wraith. So they play another Oculus, so they will have 3 blockers. So now I probably cycle the Wraith. Try to find the Unholy Heat. So they're gonna have 3 blockers. So they're gonna eat the yeah. I need to do this. If I draw a land, I guess it'd have to be a basic land for Cling to be alive. Nice. So we 4-1 this league again. So 2 4-1s in a row. And I'm chewing on, do I want to play a 3rd league or do I want to move on? We have so many decks in the queue, but this deck is looking so sick. You know what? Let's just play some more. That's what I want to do. We'll play some more. We have a lot of other decks in the queue. We also have a long week of gaming to get to.